for Jaden Daniels, Aaron Andrews, he had a tough week losing that fumble late in the game that cost him.
Yeah, and Kev, he said, thank goodness that game was on a Monday night. It was a short week because he said if my week had gone much longer, I would have gone crazy. Jaden admitted, I didn't get much sleep this week, including after that night against Chicago. He said he sent his coach at 4 a.m. a text message that said, I'll never do that again. You won't have to worry about it. Said that in so many words, of course. Look, he said he sat back this week, looked in the mirror, looked at things he needed to improve on, and admitted, I'm a perfectionist. And the way that Chicago game ended, I'm so much better than that. He said, I have a lot to prove to my team going forward here.
Kick it 80 yards. Why not? Brandon Aubrey is insane. So we told you about Washington and the injuries, the wounded wide receivers. Noah Brown hasn't played all year with a groin injury. Terry McLaurin, they're hoping he'd be back today, not yet with a quad. And then Debo was a late injury thing on Friday. He hasn't healed. They've only been on the field together 41 of all of those offensive snaps. So really, even in camp, they just haven't had their full complement of offense. Mix in that Jaden Daniels has been out 2 games with a knee. And week 7, they don't know what their offense is. Yeah, one of the greatest rivalries in sports. Washington and Dallas, a long way. Legendary coaches, players, you name it. There's a big game in this early season, right? Especially in this NFC East. Each team has a couple tough games coming up, and it's going to make a big difference here. And offenses and defensive special teams checking in early. However, that one goes on out of bounds. So Chris Moore, 3rd and long. We've got our first game break of the day, and we say hello to Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Giants up 7 in Denver, and on 3rd and 11, it's the rookies. Jackson Dart dumps this one off to Cam Scadaboo, who runs through a couple of defenders for the 13-yard score. Giants miss the extra point. They lead 13-0 over the Broncos. Kevin.
You know, you think about these head coaches, right? They know each other well. Dan Quinn and Brian Schottenheimer, they've been on staffs together, first with the Jets, and Schotty was the offensive coordinator. And then, of course, here in Dallas, DQ had this defense humming for the years he was here. They led the league in turnovers. Brian Schottenheimer was an assistant coach, helping Mike McCarthy. And now, after 25 years, Schottenheimer gets his first job as a head coach. Dan Quinn, his second tenure as a head coach, 2nd year in D.C. All he did was take them to the NFC title game last year. So a couple friends going against each other today. Our first quarter stats for you. There has been a lot of action in this game, with offenses moving up and down the field. See 5 penalties on Washington. They also have a safety in this game, but it's the Cowboys with the lead, and they have the ball to start this second quarter. 7 for him. Time now for the Indeed Career Scout. It's on Javonte Williams, first year in Dallas, and he's really having a great year. Career high, as a matter of fact, nearly 80 yards rushing per game. He comes into this game 4th in the NFL in rushing, 6, or make that 2nd in total touchdowns. He's added 1 today. And there you go for Javonte Williams. Also this 4th most yards after contact. So we saw that earlier in the game when he ran through Marshawn Lattimore. How about today being the 50th anniversary of the Hail Mary, and the Cowboys have all their stars here.
32 seconds left. He is going for broke. Drew Pearson, touchdown. I didn't know they had it for a while. Got the ball back. Boy, what a play that was. What a ball game, huh?
Roger Staubach, Drew Pearson engineering that. Johnny, you on the call. Roger saying after the game, I closed my eyes and said a Hail Mary, and thus the Hail Mary was born.
So good.
How good is that? A lot of Cowboys stars here today to celebrate that anniversary. Here is Jaden Blue, the rookie, right side. And not much on that.
Yeah, and you see Roger Staubach, who's been an incredible, gotten to know him a bit over the years, and he was at the Naval Academy. It's where my coach Bill Belichick coached, and he always brought us some good luck when he came. And look at Steve, he's still spin that ball. Look at him, big smile on his face. He loves it. Been so active, got a lot of grandchildren, and so successful in his post-football career. This is an awesome guy to look up to.
That play. Another game break. Let's check back in with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Cardinals looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. No Kyler Murray. Jacoby Brissett hits Trey McBride for the 15-yard score. Packers would add a field goal, but Cardinals lead this one 13-6 at the half. Kev?
Welcome back to AT&T Stadium here in Arlington, Texas on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. Cowboys lead the Commanders 20-8. And you see Washington now offensively, they've had a tough time. You know, Cowboys, we told you about their defensive struggles coming into this game, last in the league in many categories, but without their top three wideouts, it's obviously a factor. Washington also has been unable to run the ball, averaging only 3.4 a carry. That's the story of their side of the game anyway. Make it 20-15, and let's see what's coming up at the half as we say hello to Kurt Menefee.
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up on the Verizon halftime, Jalen Hurts has a perfect passer rating. Caleb Williams wins his 4th in a row. And Daniel Jones looks to be the first QB to 6 wins. And no, we're not playing two truths and a lie. We'll see you at the half.
Kurt, thanks. Look forward to that. A lot of action around the league this year. Look, obviously, late games, we told you the sun shines through. And, you know, it's beautiful if you're in the stadium. But sometimes maybe that gets in the way. You played here. You dealt with that.
I did. I never wanted to make an excuse as a professional athlete like the sun was in my eyes, though. But, yeah, oh, I love that photo. One of my favorite ones. And I threw that ball to Gronk. I remember that. And whenever someone sends me something insulting or something mean to me, I just send them that photo.
It looks like you're coming down from the heavens.
I say, take that.
So it's interesting, Tom, you know, the way this game started, it was like a flurry of action, and then Dallas defensively really settled in, did a good job. But now Washington with that touchdown, and they get it after the 3rd quarter. So even though it's been sloppy, a lot of penalties, they probably feel okay where they're at right now.
They do, certainly coming on the road, dealing with kind of these scheme changes that we've seen from Dallas's defense. How can they adjust now going into the second half of this game? Now they see the plan is unfolded. Now what kind of level of execution of the scheme and execution of the plays can they go match what this Dallas offense is able to do?
They get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, and that'll take us to the half at 27-15 Dallas. Time now for the Didn't Settle Top Performer, brought to you by State Farm. A lot of points in this game. Dak Prescott is responsible for many of them. 207-yard first half with 2 touchdowns. He is playing great. Matter of fact, 485 combined total yards, most in any half of any game this year. But it's the Cowboys up by 12 here in Arlington. And the halftime show with Kurt and the guys comes your way after this break.
On Fox.
Welcome to the Verizon Halftime, the NFL, powered by Verizon 5G.
Well, the big half of big plays, and the Cowboys have a semi-big lead by 12 as we welcome you to the Verizon Halftime.
All right, Jacoby Brissett in for Tyler Murray, who is injured, stepping up fine. There he goes, finding Trey McBride. A beautiful job, a 15-yard touchdown. 140 yards passing by Brissett in the first half and a touchdown. Arizona leads Green Bay 13-6 at the half. Indianapolis Colts, well, they're on top of the AFC South with a 5-1 record. Jones throwing 2 touchdown passes in the first half, filing Tyler Warren on a 5-yarder.
8 out of 10 power, 8 out of 10 bounce. Plus, he's a lefty. That's a 9 out of 10 Gronk spike.
31-10 Colts over the Chargers. And the Giants and Jackson Dart, 201-yard passing in the first half and 2 touchdowns. Dart finding Scatterboo, look left, dump it off right. Scatterboo out of Arizona State, known for this right here. Physical. There's 13-10. Giants over the Denver Broncos.
13-0. It's the Eagles rolling past the Vikings. Carolina wins their 3rd straight. Bears win their 4th in a row. KC has won 4 out of 5. New England keeps on rolling. Cleveland takes care of Miami, and the Rams, 5 touchdown passes from Matthew Stafford win in England over Jacksonville. Michael, that first half by CD.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, how Pickens and CD going to match up, and they both are crushing, especially CD Lamb, first game back. Here, he just goes down, he's up the seam, Dak hits him between the 2 safeties, and they collide, and he just glides in for a 74-yard touchdown. I mean, 5 catches, 110 yards on a TD in the first half. I mean, guys play their whole career, never have stats like that. But it was interesting to see how he and Pickens were going to share the duties of receiving it. You can see the Cowboys have found a way to get them both involved.
Pickens is a freak. I'm telling you. His talent is extraordinary. The Pittsburgh thing, it's hard to explain. But in Dallas, he's a different guy.
72 yards for Pickens in the first half, 110 for CD Lamb. And touchdowns from everybody, it seems like, on the Cowboy offense, including Jake Ferguson. He scored. And then this is Jaden Daniels.
No power, no bounce. That's a 1 out of 10 on the Grok spike.
Yeah, that one didn't work out nearly as well. He's a quarterback. Maybe that's why.
The Verizon Halftime Show is brought to you by Verizon, the NFL, powered by Verizon 5G.
On Fox. The NFL International Games continue on NFL Network. And here, our stars come out in the morning. Week 10, Bijan Robinson and the Falcons.
Touchdown!
Take on Daniel Jones and the Colts in Berlin. Then in Week 11, Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Great ball!
Face Tua and the Dolphins in Madrid. Snooze off, game on. It's Sunday Morning Football. Continues November 9th at 9:30 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
Eagles get back to their winning ways.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. Hurts coming out on the day, 3 touchdown passes. Beautiful job here. Little play action, step up, great pass protection, just a gorgeous throw. And what a wonderful route by Smith. It was a post route, no center safety there. Smith had a career high 183 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts now back again. This is where this is when you see Brown got inside the corner. He saw the safety had moved over, so he took the post route straight up, made a seam out of it. 26-yard touchdown. His second on the day, 28-22. Eagles beat the Vikings. Saints are at the Bears, and Caleb Williams and the Bears are riding a 3-game winning streak. Second quarter, DeAndre Smith, 124 yards rushing on the day, 11 coming right there for the TD, 26-14. Bears beat the New Orleans Saints. Bad football game here. Raiders at the Chiefs. Rashee Rice is back. 2 touchdowns on the day for him. A shovel pass there from 2 yards out, making it Kansas City 7-0 over the Raiders. And then Mahomes throws to Rice a 3-yarder. A beautifully back throw. That's a fade route, though, to the back shoulder. He did. Nice job. Rice finishes with 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chiefs win 31-0. Mike McCoy, interim head coach of the Titans. Brian Callahan, the former coach, was fired this week. Cam Ward back. Kayvon Chason picks it up. He scoops it in, goes in from 4 yards out for the score. New England 31-13 over Tennessee. And earlier this one, Puka Nacua, fine receiver for the Rams, sits out this one with an ankle injury. No problem. Matthew Stafford, 5 touchdown passes on the day. And then Devontae Adams, 3 of those on 5 catches. 3 of those were touchdowns. Rams 35-7 over Jacksonville.
Second half of your game right after this.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
It's an old NFC East matchup as Washington here to take on Dallas.
Just lowering the boom right there.
Put the rush on me. Oh, it's extra say. Let your baby watch me bring the whole place down.
And this Cowboys offense humming. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. 27-15. Dallas and Washington will get the ball to start the third quarter. We welcome you to the booth. Tom Brady, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. All right, so Washington played a whole half without all 3 of their starting wide receivers. They knew coming in that was going to be the case, but now playing it, what kind of adjustments can they make at the half?
Yeah, Dallas defense certainly has taken advantage of the fact that Washington doesn't have their top 3 wideouts. So you go in at halftime, and now that the game's declared itself, how does Cliff Kingsbury design this call sheet in the second half? You look down at all the man beaters you have there and say, okay, you start dotting the call sheet. Great, this is good, this is good, this is good. And that's what a halftime break allows you to do. Really talk to the coaches, scan the game plan, and say, okay, these are the ones we got to get to here. We got 35 plays in the second half. They've got to beat man coverage. And certainly they got to run the ball a little bit more effectively than what's happened here in the first half.
Yeah, a lot of yards in this game. It's been a fun first half, a lot of action in this one. Dak Prescott, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels is a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. And so that's where we stand as we begin the third quarter. Good to have you aboard from Arlington. As Aubrey will kick it off. And it's good to see Luke McCaffrey's okay. Back there returning this kickoff after that big tackle to end the half. And he's up to the 45. It's time now for our Verizon Sideline Report with Aaron Andrews.
Yeah, Kevin, that's something head coach Dan Quinn did say to me. Luke McCaffrey is clear. Of course, we saw him come down hard there, and he said that's huge. He said what's also huge is we get the ball to start it right here, and he said we got to go right now. He said for our offense, he said we have beaten ourselves there in the first half. You're going to see a little bit of up-tempo here in the huddle. We got to get this going. Like we mentioned, Luke McCaffrey good to go. He said we have a bunch of fighters. We need to demonstrate this now. Kevin, about these explosive plays, you know, waiting for Dan Quinn to come out. I saw Joe Witt just absolutely frustrated. Dan Quinn saying 3rd and 4th going to be big right here, especially for our offense.
Well, Brian Schottenheimer, perhaps not surprisingly, started with the defense, said really pleased with how sound they've been and how physical they've been. Give credit to Eberflus for the changes the defensive coordinator has made while being so scrutinized. Offensively, really thankful for CeeDee Lamb and all the opportunities that he's able to create for other players on the perimeter. And then unprompted guys, he just brought up Brandon Aubrey and said, how about having him anywhere near midfield? He allows us to take some shots. I'm so glad he's on our side.
Yeah, no. Well, this has escalated quickly, to say the least. Cowboys scored a touchdown on their drive in the 3rd quarter, and then Deron Bland, his 6th career pick 6. And just like that, 41-15 Dallas. A long way to go in this one, but the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, at least for now. Here's McCaffrey, meanwhile. Making something happen. Good return out across the 45, and he sets up Washington in good field position. We take a look at today's Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. Dallas playing defense a little differently today.
Well, something had to change after watching last week, and they decided to tighten up their coverage a little bit, more man-to-man, and force these throws that have to be more precise. And you see when you're slightly off, a yard, half yard, those balls fall incomplete as opposed to in zone when you're 4 or 5 yards away from someone and they can extend their arms and make the catch. So really good scheme changes. The players embraced it. They've executed well, and 26-point lead with 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter is a pretty good place to be if you're a Dallas defender.
Sure is. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Kevin. Giants up 19-8. Jackson Dart looking, has his pass tipped, but right to his tight end, Theo Johnson. Coming up with it, taking it 41 yards. Dart now has his first career 3-touchdown game. Giants in control, 26-8 over the Broncos.
Okay, that's a stunner. You know, Giants trying to beat Philly and Denver back-to-back. All of a sudden, Jackson Dart saying, oh yeah, we're for real. Wow. 3-touchdown day for him. And chugs his way forward. You know, you talk about winning in the division, which is so important, right? Dak Prescott's done it better than almost everyone with Patrick Mahomes. This is not recently. This is since 1970. You know the names in that list. Just a smidge above you right now, Tom, with a .791 winning percentage.
Pretty great. You have these goals at the beginning of every season. If you want to get to the playoffs, the easiest way to do it is win your division. Play well against the guys that you know best. He's done that against Washington.
Cowboys offense has been awesome. Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns, 4 straight games for him. Javonte Williams, a 100-yard effort and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb back from the ankle, 74-yard touchdown, 110 yards in total. And George Pickens, by the way, 82 yards and a couple of circus catches. And CeeDee Lamb, having him back, your offense is already #1 in the league, and that makes it even better.
Wide open right there on the angle route. Wins on leverage to the outside. And then down the field. This one was early. He couldn't believe it. Looking around like, real, no one's around me? All right, I'll walk in, sidestep. Got my partner picked right next to me. It's quite a duo, the two of them. Lamb, 5 for 110. Pickens, 4 for 82. 200 yards between the two of them. That's what you counted on.
Sure is.
In the offseason. Let's bring them in. Great production.
45, he goes. Game break time. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So this is a fluid situation. Broncos trailed 26-8 with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, but Bo Nix's 18-yard touchdown run gives them a 30-26 lead. The Giants are driving right now with just over a minute left to play. Kev?
You know what, Carissa, you use fluid situation. It feels urgent. It really does. I like that. And that is urgent. Giants had a big lead. Denver coming all the way back, and now we'll see if they can hold it because the Giants are on the move. We'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Kick, first down.
So the Cowboys lose last-second field goal at Carolina last week. You know, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you're like, man, this offense is too good to waste. Defense has gotten better today. What's realistic for them now? With the offense is so good, can they do enough on D to get back and be a factor here?
I think their offense can get off to these great starts. It helps that defense out so much as they understand this new system. This is their third defensive system in 3 years, going from Quinn to last year Mike Zimmer and then now to Eberflus. So you've got to unpeel layers of the onion, and sometimes they've been forced to, based on what happened last week, in 1 week say, no, more blitzes, more man coverage, and let's see if we can do a better job, and they have.
It's interesting because, you know, talking about your tenure, you were in one place with essentially the same coaching staff for so long, and you were telling us last night at dinner how you built on concepts every year. You can't build on concepts when it's a new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator every year.
Yeah, and certainly continuity in the NFL is always the thing that matters so much. As long as you're playing well, you'd love to have the same coaches coaching the same schemes. Players understand when they make mistakes within that scheme, and then you're not making the same errors again and again. Problem is, every time you change coaches, they don't know you, you don't know them, and there's different errors all the time, and you never can get up to the speed with the teams that do have continuity.
While they're doing that, we got a game break. Back to Carissa we go.
That fluid situation, Kev. Here you go. After a series of penalties, Giants in the red zone. Jackson Dart takes it up the middle, dives in for the score. They just missed the extra point. Giants have the lead still, though, 32-30 with 37 seconds left to play.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, if the Giants can hold on to that, all of a sudden this NFC East is pretty crowded. Makes it a lot of fun. And those early Cowboys teams, they take a knee, and that will be that. Cowboys get the win, and we'll tell you the next Sunday on Fox. NFC East will stay there as Jackson Dart and the Giants all of a sudden red hot, taking on the Eagles in Philly and other games. Check your local listings for all the action there. Cowboys win it 44-22 here from Arlington. Offense is looking great, and we'll come back and put the finishing touches here as Dak Prescott, what a game. Cowboys will take it. They get a dub at home. Back to finish it up after this.